That was okay the day after the accident. But as soon as Pedro was able, he needed to get on with his life, and that meant physical therapy. His physical therapist was an effective motivator whose goal was to lead Pedro back to living a fulfilling life.
Because he has a debilitation that is caused from an injury does not mean he cannot live a joyful, life-fulfilling life. He can still function, he can still have relationships, he can still enjoy hobbies, care for himself. His life is just as hopeful as mine.
Lynn saw in Pedro a desire to succeed that she described as awesome. Pedro from the start was very motivated to work as hard as he could. The physical therapist's biggest goal was to improve his physical functions. As you can see, they're meeting those goals. Pedro's older brother urged him to come and work with him in Washington State. The brother, his wife, and children, in keeping with the tradition of Mexican families, have stayed alongside Pedro throughout his injury and rehabilitation. He is happy with the support the state has given his brother.
Ellen and I has done a lot for my brother. From the moment I saw my brother move his eyes, I was thankful. He has a positive mental attitude. He looks forward to the future, and so he continues to work hard on his rehabilitation. Ellen and I has always been with him, has never left him, thanks to God.
Pedro is aware of the facts of his injury and his situation. He understands that he probably won't be able to run and jump and play basketball with the children he hopes to have. But he doesn't see his non-responsive legs as a limitation, only as a challenge. He does want to find a wonderful wife and establish a loving home. Pedro does dream of a wedding and a mariachi band and even having the first dance with his wife in a beautiful gazebo like this one. He still dreams of being able to do the fancy footwork Mexican dancing demands. But realistically, he knows that he may need the help of crutches when that day comes. But that doesn't diminish his dreams nor the motivation to make it happen. Pedro's days are not filled with regret and sadness. He says he's happy and getting better every day. In many ways, his accident has awakened him to the many opportunities open to him, opportunities that he was unaware of until his accident. He says that he doesn't feel limited as a human being because all the good things and ideas come out of the heart. Pedro gives the credit to God and to all the good people who surround him, to Ellen and the caseworker who had always supported him, the doctors, the therapist, his family and friends. They are all part of the support circle that gives him realistic hope and courage for the future. Pedro's doctor at St. John's Medical Center says that because of Washington State's Department of Labor and Industry support, the medical center was able to focus on rehabilitation and education. Pedro has worked hard on his English since his accident. His goal is to become employable in the future and to get on with his life. Since his accident, Pedro has learned that the Washington State Department of Labor and Industries requires that workers be given specific safety instruction about their job before they start work. In addition, workers must be given specific safety gear and fall protection equipment that meets or exceeds L&I's requirements for the type of work the employee is expected to do. And finally, scaffolding must be properly installed. It must be no more than 14 inches from the structure's wall. If the employer doesn't meet these requirements, he cannot retaliate against the employee if the employee refuses to do the work. L&I adopted rules to prevent that kind of retaliation. Pedro does have some advice for his fellow workers.
If I would have known that I had the right to get all types of safety training and equipment before doing a specific job, truthfully, I would not be in this condition.
Sadly, Pedro is absolutely correct. If he had been given the safety training and the proper fall protection equipment, and if the scaffold had been correctly installed and used, he would still be doing productive work today, looking toward the day when he could realize his dream of building a beautiful home for his wife and family. They would be living the good life. The accident happened in a life-changing moment. It may take the rest of his life to recover, but Pedro still has that dream. We at the Washington State Department of Labor and Industries join Pedro, his family and friends in believing it will happen.